Hey ladies, welcome back. Today, we're diving into one of the most thrilling and often misunderstood sides of intimacy, rough sex. Now, before your mind jumps to handcuffs or scenes from movies, I want you to take a step back with me and really explore what men secretly crave behind closed doors, and why it's not about being filthy, it's about being intentional. Because here's the truth. There's a side of men we rarely speak about, a side that doesn't just want to feel wanted, but completely devoured. A side of him that doesn't always desire soft and slow, but sometimes aches for fierce, daring, unapologetic energy from you. Yes, you. The bold woman who can step forward, own the moment, and make him fully lose his grip. No. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about releasing the part of you that's already there, the powerful, passionate part that knows exactly how to ignite the kind of heat that leaves him speechless, trembling, and hungry for more. You become the woman who doesn't just give pleasure. You take charge of the entire moment, like it was always yours to begin with. In this video, I'm going to guide you through 5 rough sex moves that men not only enjoy, but secretly fantasize about. And we're not just talking physical touch. These moves go far deeper. They're emotional, raw, and absolutely unforgettable. When done with the right mix of confidence and care, they awaken a side of a man that rarely surfaces in everyday life. And when you step into that space with grounded, sensual presence, you'll witness him unravel in ways even he didn't expect. So if you're ready to explore how to push all the right buttons and become the fantasy he didn't even know he needed, stay with me right here. Let's get into a move that drives him crazy and how you can bring it with control, sharpness, and your unique feminine power. One move that's surprisingly potent is the sudden pin and whisper. There's something explosive about blending surprise with closeness that triggers deep desire in a man. And this move is all about creating that delicious mix of unexpected intensity and intimacy. One rough move that men secretly want is being pinned down. Not in a painful way, but in a way that makes him feel caught, vulnerable, and totally out of control. And you don't need to be physically stronger than him. What matters is the intent. It could be something as simple as gently pushing him onto the bed, climbing on top, or even softly holding down his wrists. Not tight, just enough to let him know he's not in charge right now. It's not about brute strength, it's about emotional force. Showing that in this moment, you're leading, you're choosing, and you're letting him feel what it's like to be completely claimed by your desire. And this is where the real magic unfolds. Once you've got him pinned, even just for a beat, lean in slowly. Let the space between your lips and his ear stretch. Let that tension rise, and then say something that cuts through him. Something playful, daring, or even slightly dirty, depending on your chemistry together. The power isn't only in the words, it's in the way you say them. It's your breath on his skin, the softness of your tone, the intensity in your eyes that silently says, "You're mine right now." I'm not asking, I'm here to give you something you'll never forget. This kind of rough doesn't leave bruises. It leaves a memory that lives in his head. It's psychological. It's primal. It skips his logical brain and drops him straight into the feeling of being absolutely desired, completely taken. Men hunger for that kind of honesty in bed, even if they never admit it out loud. They don't just want to perform, they want to surrender. To feel like you're the one steering the moment and they're holding on for dear life. Here's what most people don't realize. When a man feels safe enough to lose control like that, when he knows you're still attuned to his energy, still grounded, still conscious, that's when he opens emotionally. Yes, even during rough passion. Because rough doesn't mean wild without care. It means driven, full of energy, but built on trust. It's heat and presence combined. So next time, don't wait for his cue. Take the reins. Pin him. Look into his soul. Whisper something that shakes him to the core. That combination of surprise, purpose, and voice isn't just sexy. It's unforgettable. Now let's talk about another powerful move, the hair grab and slow drag. There's something deeply animalistic about hair, not just the texture, but what it represents: hunger, possession, and fire. One of the most underrated but highly intense moves is when you take hold of his hair, not roughly, but with purpose, and use it to steer the moment. We often see women's hair being pulled, but when you flip it, when you're the one grabbing his hair, especially gently at the roots while kissing or riding him, you flip the dynamic in a way he rarely expects. It's not about hurting him, it's about sensation, about communicating, I need you so much, I have to hold something. That kind of urgency, it's addictive to a man. It puts him in a mental reel. He's not just in the scene, he's reliving it, already knowing this is a memory he'll revisit over and over again. You don't have to be aggressive. The real magic is in the drag. Once you've taken hold during a kiss or while you're on top, pull his head back slowly, just enough to expose his throat or make him look into your eyes. That pause, that stillness, it freezes him. He's suspended in your world. You've taken control, and he's mesmerized by it. Then follow it with something soft. Your lips at his neck, your breath at his collarbone, your fingers tracing down his chest. That contrast between solid grip and delicate touch, it throws his senses into chaos. He doesn't just feel it, he absorbs it. You've shown him both sides of desire, craving and care, dominance and connection, and that mix, it's unforgettable. This isn't just about arousal. It's about stirring the part of him that wants to be taken over. When you grab his hair, you're not just touching him, you're showing you're fearless, that you know how to drive him wild from the inside out. That type of experience doesn't fade. It becomes a story in his body, one he relives, not because of the touch alone, but because of how you made him feel, like he belonged to someone for that moment. So next time, don't just glide your fingers through his hair, grip it, pull with meaning. Show him that your desire isn't asking for permission, it's claiming its space. And trust me, that moment will stay with him far beyond the night. Now let's move to another unforgettable moment, the hip grab and deep grind. There's a point in intimacy when everything slows and it's no longer about motion, it's about communication through the body. One of the most powerful things a man secretly wants is when you take control of the rhythm, when you become the force behind the movement. I'm talking about that deliberate, slow, deep grind where your hips speak louder than words, where your hands grip his waist, your nails press into his sides, and you make sure he doesn't go anywhere. This isn't about speed. It's about pressure, connection, and confidence. When you hold his hips in place and move on your own terms, with your own rhythm, he feels something beyond sex. He feels claimed. Your hands pulling him in, your hips commanding the pace. It sets fire to his mind, because he's not used to being held like that, but he craves it. He wants to feel needed. He wants to feel your hunger. He wants to feel your body moving, not for his pleasure, but for your own. And that kind of movement, that grounded, intentional rhythm, it doesn't just excite him, it disarms him in the best way. Because now, he's not just part of sex, he's being experienced by you. It's the energy of, this moment belongs to me and I'm going to take all of it. That's intensity, that's power, and most of all, it's real. When a man witnesses you moving for yourself, not for his reaction, but from your need and desire, it flips a switch inside. He stops observing and starts feeling it on every level. This move isn't rough because it's hard, it's rough because it's deep. It's personal. It shifts the dynamic and shows that you're unafraid to lead, that you want him open, present, and just as vulnerable as you are. So the next time you're in that moment, don't hesitate. Grab his hips, hold him down, and let yourself move in that slow, intense rhythm. Let him feel every part of your presence. Let him know this moment is yours to control. And trust me, he won't forget it. That one act of owning the rhythm will haunt him in the best way. And from that moment on, whenever he thinks of you, he'll remember exactly how it felt to be completely taken. His breath catches, his heartbeat quickens, and you can almost see the shift in his face, that look that silently says, she just changed everything. Hold that eye contact, not playful, not timid, but steady, deep, and filled with desire. Look at him like you're reading every little reaction, like you're fully present, totally tuned in. That does more than turn him on, it completely tuned in them. Because eye contact during intimacy, or even right before, isn't just about what you're seeing, it's about emotional heat and real connection. When you hold his gaze, you're not just touching his body, you're reaching into his thoughts. And truthfully, most men are used to sex being about movement, about friction, about things building fast. But when you climb on top, lean in close and pause, when you don't move straight away, but instead let him feel all of you, the weight of your body and the intensity of your stare, you create a tension that's almost too much to bear. It's like the quiet before the climax in a sentence. Everything stops. Everything waits. He's frozen in that anticipation, wondering what you'll do next. And that's exactly where you want him. Because it's in that moment, in that pause, where bodies and emotions start blending. That's where real desire begins. It's not just how you feel to him. It's how it feels to be seen by you. Deeply desired. Fully absorbed by your energy. Before you even make a move, you become the fantasy. Not because of some technique, but because you know how to hold a moment with confidence and intention. Men don't always admit it, but they crave that energy shift, that feeling of surrender, that moment when a woman takes control, not for show, but to own her power. That tiny resistance mixed with intense eye contact, it transforms a moment into a memory. One that replays in his head when he's alone, one that lingers long after. So next time, don't wait for him to take the lead. Step into it yourself. Lock eyes with him. Show him what it looks like when you choose to be unforgettable. There's something every woman should know. Sometimes, not giving him exactly what he wants right away is the very thing that makes him want it even more. This last move is all about mastering the art of the pause. Not rejecting him, not pulling away, but choosing when and how, creating tension he didn't expect. The move itself is simple, but incredibly powerful. You bring him close, physically, emotionally, sensually. You stir his senses, you touch, you tease, you kiss, you say things that electrify him. Then, right when he thinks he's about to have all of you, you stop. You pause. You slow it down. You hold his gaze with a knowing look and whisper something like, "Not yet." And right there, you've done something unforgettable. You've created space between his wanting and his having. And in that space, fantasy is born. Obsession begins. His mind fills with thoughts of you, your scent, your voice, your hands. Because men are used to build-ups that always go the same way, a straight path, desire, touch, release. But you're not just another partner. You're writing your own story when you build that fire and suddenly press pause. You don't just excite him, you mesmerize him. And no, it's not about games. It's not about being distant. It's about rhythm, pacing, creating contrast. When you turn things up, then ease them down. When you finally say yes, it feels like he's breaking free from a beautiful tension. You're not just giving him pleasure. You're guiding an experience, one that feels more intense, more raw, more unforgettable. Every time you hold off, even for just a second longer, the release becomes more intense. What men truly crave is a woman who knows her own desire. One who doesn't give everything away instantly, but offers just enough to leave him wanting more. It's not about making him earn it. It's about making him need it, making him crave it, making him chase you, not out of ego, but out of hunger. Because once a man tastes that kind of closeness with you, once he's been on that edge, nothing else compares. The true beauty of this kind of slow burn, it sends a clear message. I don't give this to just anyone. I decide how far this goes and when. And that kind of inner power, that's unforgettable. That's what turns a single moment into a lasting memory, something that leaves echoes in his body for days, weeks, maybe even years. So next time you're close, don't rush. Run your fingers along his jaw. Meet his eyes with purpose. Let him feel the desire building and hold him there just a bit longer. That extra breath of tension will make the surrender sweeter. And that's when you become the one he can't stop thinking about. The truth is, intimacy isn't just physical. It's energetic. These moves, they're not about becoming someone else. They're about waking up the bold, powerful, playful side of you that already lives within and letting her come alive confidently. Because when you carry that fearless energy, when you know when to take over, when to slow down, when to push, and when to pause, you tap into something deep inside him. You stop being just another lover. You become a moment, a story, a craving. If this spoke to you, hit the like button. Subscribe for more honest talk about connection and love. And drop a comment. Tell me what part lit you up the most or what you're curious to try. I want to hear your stories, your shifts, your sparks. And always remember, confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about standing in your worth, even when you're vulnerable. So, go out there. Be daring. Be unforgettable. Let him be the one lying in bed hours later, thinking about that one look, that one pause, that one time you made him feel something deeper than he's used to. Men don't crave perfection. They crave something real, something that surprises them, that draws them in and keeps them wondering. So don't hold back. Be the one who leans in and says the one thing that makes his heart race. Be the one who meets his eyes and doesn't flinch. Be the one who pushes him back with a smile that says, "You're mine tonight." And if you're still asking, can I really do this? You already can. You don't have to be louder. You don't have to be different. You just have to stop hiding. Stop dimming. Let the part of you that